in today's lecture, I will go ahead and I will continue with shifting of a graph. So, we understood that there are 4 types of shifting of a graph. F of x plus c. So, my initial graph is y is equal to a function of x. And I can do the following to it. I can have f of x plus c. I can have f of x plus c where I replace x by x plus c in the function. I can have in minus of f of x, and I can have f of minus x where I replace x with minus x. Only in this situation and this situation, I am replacing x with the new value. So I'm replacing x with x plus c or replacing x by minus x. In other 2 cases, the function is as it is, but I'm just including a negative sign or adding c to it. Now, let us try and see a question on this. Now, before I go ahead, I just want to kind of mention what we are covering is from a book, and the name of the book is Nutt, Sitzeter, and Hammond. Ideally, we have to cover this entire book. This is the book that is taken as a reference book from the point of view of all economics entrance exams. And for even in Delhi University, this is the book that we are following. So, I'm referring to this book, and what I want you to do is, as we keep on completing chapter by chapter, for every chapter, I want you to go ahead and do the exercises related to those chapters and mark, go ahead and check them with the solutions. So if I go ahead and I can show you, okay, maybe I'll show you post this lecture today. I'll show you the book, and you're supposed to go ahead and follow that book. So give me a second. So this is the book, and you're supposed to do all the chapters of this book. And, if you go to the index of the book, then do you see here? This is what we are doing for now. We actually went ahead and we did sets. And after sets, this is the chapter that I'm currently doing, functions of one variables. We have almost covered this chapter, functions of one variables. I would be should be able to end this chapter completely today or tomorrow. So, there are different versions to the book. One has this as chapter 4, the other has this as chapter 2 and chapter 3. I'll share the book with you, but what I want you to do also is to do all these questions. We have done all these questions in the class. We have done this question, we have done this question. All of this has been covered in the class. We have done domain, range, etc. But whatever are the exercise questions, for example, these are your exercise. I want you to go ahead and solve each of this question and relate it with the answers. This is important for you to practice. Okay. So now let's go back to the topic, and now I'm going to go ahead and discuss this question. So see what is given to us. It says that the person is earning income Y, and he pays some proportion of his income as tax, and the tax that the person is paying is a function of the income that the person earns. So the more the income that the person earns, the more the tax that the person would be paying. So tax is a function of income. Okay. Now the aim is to reduce the tax that is paid by the person. Now there are two proposals that are given by the tax committee. The first proposal is to reduce $D from the taxable income before tax. So before you even pay the tax, I'm going to say, I'm not going to charge you tax on your income, but I'm going to charge you tax on your income after deducting D. So please read this. Deduct $D from their taxable income before tax. So well before they end up paying tax, we have to go ahead and deduct some proportion. This is what happens in India. Okay. So, something like section 80C or other sections where we say that, from what, suppose you're earning 10 lakh, then your taxable income is not 10 lakh. You can deduct 1.5 lakhs under 80C. You can deduct maybe some HRA of, let's say, 1 lakh, supposedly. So you will only be charged on 7,50,000. So you're deducting your some proportion from the income well before you calculate tax. That's the first proposal. The second proposal is you tax on the entire income. You tax on 10 lakh, whatever tax comes, and then you pay a tax credit. So the government returns you certain money. First, the government charges you tax on the entire income, and then the government goes ahead and returns you some money. These are the two proposals that are given to reduce the tax. Now let us try and see what does this mean mathematically. The first thing is this. So, this is the first aspect. First of all, we have to understand that tax is a function of income. This is the starting point. And now the first thing says that less income is taxable. So you can write it here. Less income is taxable. That is scenario one. The other scenario, so because less income is taxable, the tax that I am paying is a function of lesser income. And what is this lesser income? This lesser income is Y minus D. It is a function of less income. That's the first case. Now, in this case, the question is, how does my function looks like? How does my tax function work? Now, assume that this is my income. And supposedly this is the tax. And let's say that initially I am telling you that I am paying certain level of tax. So if my income is 1,000, I am paying you 100 as tax. Right? Now, what has happened is my net income has reduced. I don't have to pay tax on 1,000 rupees. I just have to pay tax on 800 rupees. You see this? My net income has reduced. I'm paying tax on a lower income. Whenever that happens, there will be a shift. But this shift would be rightward or leftward. So it would always be a rightward or leftward shift depending on the value. Are you adding something to Y or subtracting something from Y? Depending on that, there will be a rightward or leftward shift. In our case, there would be a shift which would be going. Now, let's see this. So, for example, I tell you that, and then I'll tell you whether it is rightward or leftward. So, supposedly, I tell you that, you know what? The tax that I'm collecting is t square, supposedly. And now I tell you, or y square, because it's a function of income, you can also take it as y square, your wish. And now I tell you, this is a function of income and this is the tax that I'm paying. Now, post this proposal, I am supposed to pay tax on a lower level of income. So some amount will be deducted from my income and only on that my tax would be collected. So my tax would be y minus d whole square. Now I have to plot these two things. Earlier my tax was y square. And now my tax is y minus d whole square. This one. And now let's see what will happen. So supposedly, let's plot this out. Just see this. If tax is y square, if I have to plot the equation t is equal to y square, then when y is 0, t is also 0. When y is 1, then t will be 1 square and 1 square would be 1. When y is 2, t will be 2 square would be 4 and so on. So, you know, my equation will be, if I take, you know, y here and t here, when t is 0, y is 0. When t is 1, when y is 1, t is also 1. When y is 2, t is 4. And so on. So I have this curve like this. Right? Now, let's plot the other thing round. So now I'm saying that tax is equal to y minus d whole square. Now I ask you the same question. When y is 0,